spiritual brothers and sisters, indeed, it is a great honor for me to participate in the International Hindu Congress. So then, as usual, when I talk, I always consider myself just a simple another human being. I emphasize that. This is because basically we all, 7 billion human beings, are same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. The way we born, same. Queens or kings, beggars or spiritual leaders, ordinary practitioner, we all born same way. At the end, born the same way, go to next destination. So, while we live on this planet, sometimes we forget the sameness of humanity and too much sort of emphasis, divisions, we and they. We and they come on the second level of, the differences. Basic level, human being, no differences. I think when we sort of, experience a case, you just lonely, you escaped some way, no other human being, then one human being see, the first thought come, oh, there, one human being there. Do not consider what is nationality, what is color, what is position, status, or religious faith. At that time, in child, also you see, they simply, hugging one human being showing love, affection. They do not consider what is their social background or religious faith or these things. So the reason why, you see, it is important to emphasize that a lot of problems today we are facing. Actually, our own creation. That's very clear. War, violence, we created. And social sort of also the injustice where in the society, injustice. Due to that, people or poorer section of people suffer. All this we created. And unfortunately, sometimes religious faith also causing problem. So therefore, if we emphasize fundamental level, we are same human being. They want peaceful life. I want peaceful life. I appreciate human affection. They also appreciate human affection. That's the way. Our very life, this is start. with human affection, mainly our parent, particularly our mother. So that's my fundamental belief. Now we need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. On that level, see, nothing to divide. Same human being. So, all major religious tradition, I believe, have very sort of great potential, you see, to promote peace of mind. And among different religious traditions, the ancient spiritual tradition, I think very, very ancient sort of spiritual tradition, what we call Sangha philosophy, Sangha tradition, and then different Hindu tradition. Usually we call Toki Tengasere.
The 5 schools in Indian tradition, thought tradition.
Changjamba,
Sankhya,
Chiruba,
Jaina,
Chiragwa,
Vaisheshika,
Takarwa, Chabawa,
Mimamsak,
Jangbeba.
Charvak,
So, Vedanta.
Vedanta.
See, I think this, as far as Sangha philosophy is concerned, I think more than 3,000 years old. So usually, I expressing among the Egyptian civilization, Chinese civilization, Indus Valley civilization, which is the India's sort of civilization, eventually. So among these 3 civilizations, I think Indus Valley civilization, I think produced most great thinkers. Of course, Egyptian civilization, Chinese civilization, they are wonderful. But as far as sort of the complicated philosophical views is concerned, I think India's sort of civilization, I think really produced wonderful sort of thinkers. For example, of course, I'm a student of Nalanda tradition and a simple Buddhist monk. I study a little bit. But I always tell you, when I carry study, I'm quite lazy student. So my knowledge is limited. However, so when I study these things, the ancient Indians or say the spiritual scholars or practitioners, masters, according to their sort of writing, according to their sort of viewpoint, I really admire. You see, their brain is something very, very special. They utilize human brain maximum way. Now one example. I study a little bit the Arya Deva's sort of writing, or Arya Deva's sort of the text. And then also Baba Bega and Dignac and Dharmakirti. So in these texts, there are a lot of, sort of debate. So analyze different sort of concept of different tradition. Now I cannot express it in English. But Shingwe Namsha Dalapo Yunuzane, Chig Loy Pike, you Jutantelia, you Jutantela, and Druid Jubata, 7 Jubas, Sinju Tunjuzik Shekdo. No Hindi. I think Hindi better.
जब वस्तु विषय की व्यवस्था की जाती है तो उस समय फिर
I think this is better.
जब वस्तु विषय की व्यवस्था की जाती है तो उस समय एक ज्ञान के द्वारा जब प्रवृत्त होते हैं विषय पर तो वो दो प्रकार से ये बौद्धों के सिद्धांत और शास्त्रों और प्रमाण शास्त्र के अनुसार होता है कि वो अपोह प्रवृत्ति का और एक है विधि प्रवृत्ति, दो प्रकार से विषय में प्रवृत्त होता है.
The Digna Kada Cholan Chodak Shungna Lola, any Chusum Sesugore. That the dig, because Trolina Becadulia, any Tese Tetugi, Kyan Rikjigi, any Kare Sukazanga, Saro, Sushima, Tintisungua. Tedebu Tinsi Gone, because Trudun never Lolia. Muslim Samad Jevat Samas, Samani, Digna, the Zuna Lola. Ya, Tudugi, and the Kawanga Shegi, and it's Sama, not Sama Juji Sunshabaji, Nitingo. Chizanga, does the one that Traneg huge cabaret?
जब विषय वस्तु की स्थापना की जाती है तो उस समय प्रमाण के द्वारा और हेतु के द्वारा स्थापित की जाती है और जब प्रमाण और हेतु के द्वारा स्थापित की जाती है तो उस समय ये बौद्धों में दिंगनाक और धर्मकीर्ति आचार्य धर्मकीर्ति आदि ने तीन रूप के द्वारा एक सम्यक हेतु होने के लिए उसकी स्वरूप में त्रिरूपात्मक होना चाहिए ऐसे उन्होंने बताया है. और उस समय बहुत इतर विद्वानों ने भी ये 3 से अधिक या 4 और 5 और 6 तक का भी त्रिरूपात्मक से भी अधिक 4, 5, 6 आदि के रूपात्मक हेतु की भी व्यवस्था की है. और इस तरह के त्रिरूपात्मक हेतु के माध्यम से जब ज्ञान प्राप्त होता है, विषय का ज्ञान प्राप्त होता है, तो उस प्रकार के विषय के ज्ञान का भी एक अनुमान ज्ञान होता है और एक प्रत्यक्ष ज्ञान होता है. विषय जानने वाले जो ज्ञान है वो 2 प्रकार के होते हैं, ये आचार्य दिंगनाक और धर्मकीर्ति बताते थे. और उसी समय बहुत इधर विद्वानों ने और दार्शनिकों ने 2 प्रमाण के अतिरिक्त 4, 3, 6 और कभी कभी फिर 11 प्रमाण की भी व्यवस्था की है और उन्होंने लोगों के सामने रखा है.
So when I study these texts, then I really admire at that time. Say in this country, I think such wonderful thinkers, logicians. One time, one Indian scientist, the nuclear physicist, late Rajaramana, once he told me he found some of ancient Indian great thinkers were writing. He found the concept of the quantum physics. So then, as an Indian, he feels very proud. Quantum physics in the modern world, something new, sort of finding or new concept. In this country, 2,000 years ago, already, you see, developed that concept. Then, as a student of Nalanda tradition, as a Buddhist monk, I feel the real sort of development of Buddhist logic, Buddhist philosophy, I feel because of this challenge. No challenge, no further development. Then take for granted, okay, like that. The challenge not a physical level, or ahimsa, of course, intellectual level. You see, analyze, thinking, use, also the logics. So, I feel the ancient non-Buddhist sort of the tradition, I think, much developed because of Nalanda Buddhist tradition. Buddhist tradition, I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think much developed because of non-Buddhist, the traditions of these, because of the thought or difference of thing. So, I always describe we Tibetan are chela of ancient Indian guru. All our knowledge here is actually come from India. So one Tibetan, I think, of 15th century, one great Tibetan scholar, he expressed, till light come from India to land of snow, in spite color of snow white, bright, but still dark. When India's light reached there, then Tibet become bright. That's very true. That's very true. So sometimes I little bit sort of sarcastic or jokingly telling, ancient Indians were our guru, not modern Indian. Modern Indian, too much westernized. So such sort of occasion, such period, now you really trying to preserve 1,000-year-old your rich tradition. So I very much appreciate. Now I think whenever I give talk, I always quite frank. So sometimes I found in this great country immense richness about these human knowledge about particles like quantum physics and also the human psychology. The all Indian tradition, which include practice of shamatha, vipassana, naturally a lot of explanation about mind, about emotion. So last 30 years, I have serious sort of dialogue with modern scientists, mainly 4 fields: cosmology, neurobiology, then physics, subatomic sort of physics, including quantum physics, then psychology. So as far as the psychology is concerned, I usually see the expressing among the sort of Western sort of scientists are usually telling, oh, modern psychology, compare ancient Indian psychology, the modern psychology is like kindergarten level. Indian psychology, highly developed. So now, our spiritual brothers, sisters, it is not sufficient just to carry some puja, some ritual. Sometimes we carry, Tibetan also they are, carry ritual days and days, but without knowing the meaning. So in this, now here, in this sort of very ancient sort of nation who once produced such a wonderful sort of thinkers. Now today, I think every corner of sort of town or city, some temple. But I think some kind of kasota place where carry study and discuss, I think very rare, very rare. So please, now here big gathering, please, while you carry your puja or kasota rituals, you must pay more attention about study, deeper level of philosophy and psychology. These things are very, very important. Then you can really make a significant contribution for whole world, knowledge of mind, knowledge of emotion. It is very, very important. Much trouble which we are facing is ultimately come from destructive emotion, anger, hatred, fear, greed. So, in order to deal with world problem, ultimately we have to deal with our emotion. Then without knowing the map of emotion, how can we can effectively deal with this destructive emotion? So knowledge about the human mind, human emotion is no matter what believer or non-believer, even anti-religious people, they should know about the human mind. Then their work becoming more constructive and realistic, like that. So much our work in economy or politics or international relations, in every field, I think most of these destructive sort of work or event, you see, happen because of ultimately ignorance, short-sightedness, and the too much self-centered attitude. So, if people, humanity knows more knowledge about our inner peace and more knowledge how to develop inner peace, how to tackle these destructive emotions, I think then the world can be more peaceful or more compassionate world. Compassion cannot be produced by mission, by factory, or take one pill and compassion come. Impossible. Or tranquilizer will not bring real tranquility. Tranquility must develop within our own mind. So therefore, as Chela, I also telling, we are not only your Chela, but also quite reliable Chela. Because, last over 1,000 years, these ancient Indian knowledge we kept intact, while Guruji little bit neglected. So it is quite, I'd say, quite correct. We are quite reliable Chela. So my request as a Chela to Guruji, please pay more attention about ancient your knowledge and the religious sort of centers in various sort of, as someone mentioned, all over the world. You see some temples, you see some sort of society or things that now pay more attention about this ancient knowledge, which something very relevant to today's world. This is one thing. Then whenever I met some group of Indian group in New York or England and some other places, I urging them, look, wherever Chinese community there, they eventually create Chinatown. Why? India town. Not developed. Where temple already there, but you see some sort of center where you see you can discuss about ahimsa, about religious harmony. Today's world, I think, very, very relevant. 1,000-year-old India's tradition of ahimsa and India's tradition of religious harmony. This is very, very important. So wherever Indian community there, you should set up some kind of culture center, not just only temple, but some kind of culture center and more academic work. Then gradually you see create India town. Okay, I think very good. I think as far as the food is concerned, I think Chinese restaurant, I think more available than Indian restaurant. But as far as if you make some emphasis and make facility about study of psychology, study of these deeper philosophical views, then I think you can create some kind of unique Indian culture center. Can really, make a contribution to world. So that I want to share with you. And then, I think that's all. So then of course, the relation between Buddhism and what you call generally Hinduism, I always describe Buddhism and Hinduism is like spiritual brothers. It is very true. The practice of Shila, practice of Samadhi or Shamatha, practice of Vipassana, same. Practice of Prajna. Now differences is Atma and Anatma. That's personal business. I think 2 years ago in Bangalore, I'm invited by one spiritual leader there. I can't remember his name. Very active in the society, helping, providing meals to thousands of students. Wonderful. So, one occasion we just talk. And then I told him, yes, practice of Shila, Shamatha, and Prajna, basically same. Only demarcation is concept of Atma and Anatma. So for me, as a Buddhist, concept of Anatma is suitable For you, concept of Atma is more suitable. So that's a private business. No problem. And also, you see, when I met some Christians, some Muslims, you see, they believe they are creator, God, Allah. So that is their private business. Buddhist, no concept of creator, but self-creation, like that. But our common practice of love, practice of tolerance, practice of forgiveness, practice of self-discipline, practice of contentment, all major religious traditions carry same practice. Some tradition more emphasis these things, some tradition emphasis just prayer or faith. In my view, the concept of creator, single-pointed faith towards God, towards Allah, towards Adasuru, God. The real purpose of this sort of concept to bring conviction about inner value. So different method, same goal. Buddhists say no creator. Jainism also say no creator. Then emphasis self-creation. If you do good, you get a benefit. If you do bad, you will face negative consequences. So all the responsibility put on oneself. Purpose, bring conviction, the inner value. And then God, creator. Oh, we created by God. God, infinite love. So since we created by such infinite love, we also have the seed of that love. Everybody, as God's creature, everybody have some kind of sparks of God. Very good, wonderful. So I feel, so all these different religious traditions, you see, they are different philosophy, simply strengthening conviction about our inner value. So when we find differences, I always look, what's the purpose of the different philosophy? As far as philosophical view differences were, philosophical views, even within Buddhism, Nalanda tradition, Vivashek, Swadantik, Chitta Mantra, Matimega, differences there. All come from Buddha himself. So different mental people who have different mental disposition, it is highly necessary, different way of approach. So different religious tradition, different method, different philosophy, all meant for humanity. So that is I think what say. I usually see through that way try to promote religious harmony. So one occasion I was in Australia when I give a public talk. One Christian minister introduced me. While he introduced me, he described me as a good Christian. Then when I speak, when I start my talk, I look at him, I consider you as a good Buddhist. Okay. We both practice of love, forgiveness, tolerance, self-discipline. So now, I think I myself, may claim, now here, I'm good Hindu. especially, as I mentioned earlier, we have historically very close link. Buddha Shakyamuni himself, actually, any religious tradition, they are sort of, because of the foundation, is previous religion which exists at that time. So, naturally, Buddha Shakyamuni, you see, develop new sort of also the teaching based on existing sort of tradition. That is Sangha philosophy, Jain philosophy, already there. So Hindu philosophy already there, like that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, and then also the Hindu Tantra and Buddhist Tantra, many similarities. Actually, I think last year, you know, Ashok Singhal, you know, you say, you invited me, Mahakumbha Mela. I decided. At that time, I sent a message. I very much eager to meet some Indian, sort of sadhu practitioner who spent many years in high mountains, completely naked. I want to get some experience from them. So then, the aeroplane, weather not allowed by aeroplane, so did not materialize my visit. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to see genuine practitioner. Now, pilgrimage, temples are quite enough. Now I want to meet practitioner who really keep 1,000-year-old tradition. That's something very, very important. So still, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping one day one genuine practitioner who have some deeper experience, and we should have some kind of meeting and exchange our deeper spiritual experiences. That's, I think, very, very important. Very important. That also, you say, very helpful to get mutual understanding. With mutual understanding, mutual respect come. Mutual respect is the foundation of harmony, unity. Clear? So, that's all. Thank you.